All right, everybody, how you doing today? Thank you for tuning in for another blessed day. God over demons 24/7. We gotta give thanks for waking up today and getting another day started. You know, I was thinking and having conversations the other day about really like it was about the love walk, but it turned into something much more than the love walk. See, sometimes your best education is life itself. Your best education is experience yourself. You can go to school, you can do a lot of things, but ain't nothing gonna teach you like life experience. So what I'm saying today, y'all, is don't be afraid of life. Life will teach you what nothing else will be able to teach you. Life will teach you the difference between love and hate. Life will teach you the difference between truth and false. Life will teach you where you need to go and where you need to stay away from. So, for the people who have listened to me the other day, or about 3 days ago, something like that, about keeping an eye on your children, that's another lesson that we have to pick up. Because things are getting out of hand. And we need to not only look out for our children, but we must educate them. Yeah, don't just send them off to school and think that's good enough. You got to educate them, but you got to be crafty. Because kids of today don't want to be lectured. So you have to show them real life experience. Good life experience. Because, see, young folks like to see, not just hear you rambling your mouth. So you can't tell a young folks that not do this, and then you're doing it. Yeah, you might say, well, see, I'm trying to teach you what I learned. No, teach me what you, not the bad that you learned, but show me the good of that. Show me you living a different life. I know all about the streets, and young folks know. They talk, they network online and all. They know the wickedness of it, but they want to see what you did with that. What was the outcome of you changing and walking away from that? See, kids want to see, if you talking about love, they want to see the love from you. You telling them to show love or don't hate on this person, then you need to show love and don't hate on this person. See, kids are looking for facts. And if you are talking a lot of stuff, but you ain't got no facts and you ain't living it out, I don't care if they is your bloodline. They're going to ignore you. It'll go in one ear and out the other. See, we have to, as adults, understand that our kids are not dummies. They not. Some of these kids are smarter than the parents. Not in a life standard situation, because experience, like I said before, is your best teacher. So these kids are still young, but they are highly educated because of the internet and their friends and what they see at school. You know what I mean? They see more than what you think they see. Just because you think that they know better, they might know better than you knowing better. So they watching you to see how you living. You know what I'm saying? See, kids might not say nothing, but they watch their parents, and then they keep growing in life. They put that in the bank, but they keep moving. So when they find out that dad is a total sellout, guess what? They're not going to want to hear anything you got to say. You'll be talking to them, and it'll be going in one ear and out the other. It's a true fact. You don't believe me? Stop at young folks and ask them. And I bet you they tell you. Man, nobody listen to that ignorant stuff. That they gonna tell you. No disrespect, but we ain't listening to that stuff. No, we ain't listening to no such and such. Joe Smo, and he out in the streets doing more than we do. We ain't listening to him. No, he come here talking that stuff. No, we don't want to hear it. See, kids go by not the situation that you in, but what you did with that situation that you was in. If that makes sense. It should make sense to you, dog. It should make sense. Kids are looking at you and me and saying, okay, how are they living? You know, they telling me not to do this and they telling me not to do that, but I see him doing this. I see her doing that. And they bench pressing 40, they bench pressing 50, they bench pressing 60. I'm not listening to them because they talk outside their mouth. And then they'll go and network with their friends. And then their friends will share each other's parents, ways. My mom said this, my mom said this too. She said, I don't know what's wrong. I'm not listening to my mom because my mom is out there. I'm not listening to my dad because he's an abuser. I'm not listening to my grandpa or my grandma because they done lived a foul life. Why should I listen to them? And they still doing dumb stuff at 50, 60 years old. This is the mindset of the children today. So, I could go on a while, but this is not to downsize nobody or anything like that, because this message is not just for y'all, it's for me too. I have to always remember that everything I do represents who I'm supposed to be at my age and my point in life at this time in life. Not that, they say, as you educated, as you learn, you should know better. As you live, you should know better. So if you lived a nice long life, or you lived you 35 and over, the people younger than you are expecting, not thinking. No, they are expecting you to be acting a certain way. You supposed to, once you hit 35. That's my bridge age. That's where the bridge is built. Where you turn 35, whether you want that bridge to be built or not, it's going to be built and you need to walk across that bridge. Because there's certain things back then, 34 and down, you better not be still doing. You know what I mean? There are few exceptions. You're supposed to still enjoy life. You're still supposed to be happy. Them things you take with you over the bridge. But at 35 years old, if you ain't crossed that bridge, shame on you. And don't expect nobody to honor what you say. So, like I said, this message is not just for y'all. It's for me too. Every time I get ready to do something, every time I think of something, or if I got a plan or I want to do something, I have to know better not to do certain things. It's just some things I can't do. Once you get over 35, you got to put the hating aside, the childish ways aside. You got to, put the backstabbing, there's things you got to grow out of. When you get a certain age, you can't be a hater. You can't be a hater because, you're too old for that. You can't be trying to tear somebody else down because you know better. You can't be mad and jealous because somebody just get a brand new Cadillac and you riding on a bicycle. You can't get mad at stuff like that no more because you're above that now. All you can really do is check yourself and see, is that what you want? And something like that, if that's what you want, then go work for it. Go get what you got to do. Start your business. It's a lot of things you can do. Get mobile. So, you want your kids to listen to you, you're going to have to walk the walk. You're going to have to walk the walk. And most important, your kids need to see you more often. Don't just go to work and then, stay at work 80, 90 hours a week and the kids never see you except when it's bedtime. You come in the house and they're in bed and half sleeping. You come open the door in their room and wake them up. They got to go to school in the morning or something like that. That's the only time you see them, and you say good night to them, then you go back downstairs or go into your room and go to sleep. And then when they get up and go to school, you already gone to work. Young folks is not going to respect that. They know you got to pay the bills, but at the same time, young folks, they like, no, I need time. You ain't gonna give me time. There's some people out there that want to give me time, and them people outside might not be correct. They might mislead your little baby girl. They might trap your son up. I understand. Well, I gotta pay these bills. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. Well, how many bills you got? Some of them bills you don't need. Downsize. What's more important? Something needs to be downsized. Dad, stop working 80 hours a week. Because you ain't doing nothing but putting yourself to an early grave. That's all you're doing, Dad. You're not really doing nothing. You work 80 hours a week and you still behind on bills. You know what that means? There's some mismanagement going on. Somebody's spending too much. It's time for you and the wife to sit at the table and find out what the hell going on. Because Dad working 80 hours a week and damn near killing himself. No, it's time to go to the kitchen table. No, because the man ain't supposed to do all that. He ain't supposed to work himself to an early grave. Somebody wants too much. Somebody needs to downsize their thinking or chip in a little bit more so that Dad come home from that 80 hours to 60 hours. Because no matter how many hours you work, you still gonna be behind the 8 ball. And I bet you some of the men in this listening are gonna say, he right. You want this big fancy house. They want this car. They want to go on trips. I understand that the wife and stuff like that might want to go on trips. They might want to do this, but they're putting their husband in the early grade so they can do that. And that ain't cool. And sometimes it's vice versa. The woman out there putting 80 hours of workload in, building herself to an early grade. You can see it when she come home. Her eyes start turning, getting a little bit black around the eyes, and her skin color start changing and stuff. Because she's working too much. The body ain't built to do all that. So, we gotta understand that luxury is good, but at what price? At what price? Do you really need that big yacht that you only use maybe once or twice a year, once a year at most? Do you really need it? Well, you can sell it and probably get $100,000 easy for it. And then you can pay off some of your bills, get them out the way. Now you got room to cut back on. You ain't got to work that so much overtime because you don't have them bills no more. Now let's imagine that you sell the yacht. You got a $200,000 camper in the yard that you use every 2-3 years. It's time for that thing to go. Sell it. If you paid $200,000 for an RV camper or something like that you only use maybe once every 2-3 years, man, that's $150,000 you probably put into your pocket. Now you got $100,000 from getting rid of that yacht. You got another $150,000 for getting rid of that RV. That's still in top condition, ain't barely useless, just practically still brand new. Get rid of it. Now you add them two things together, that's $250,000. Now the kid's growing up, and they off on their own thing. Why you still got that big old mansion? It's time to downsize that joke. That's what might cost you $500,000. If you sell it, you probably get $300,000. Now you got $100,000 from the yacht, $150,000 from that RV. You get $3,350 from that the sale of the mansion. Man, you're looking at about $550,000 cash. Cash. It's all about management. It's all about budgeting. You know what I'm saying? You stop going on so many vacations. You know what I mean? You know, once a year or once every 2 years, you go on a nice vacation. You know, every 2 years, go on a nice vacation. Stop all that splurging. We're living in the times where you got to manage your money and your peace of mind, because if you don't have your peace of mind, managing your money, it's gonna be a grand tour. That money gonna be gone. So just for them three things right there, some people got all three of them things, and I'm probably hitting the price tag on the note with these persons. But if this is you, this is your cosign. This is what this was meant for you to hear. Now you got $550,000 cash from getting rid of three things. Three things. And don't buy nothing else. Oh, we got $550. Let's go. But no. Don't buy nothing. Only thing you'll go buy is another house that's smaller. Now you might spend $150,000 on a house. Maybe another, $25,000 on remodel and do little stuff to it. That's 200. Let's just say 200. Let's swear it off at 200,000, 50,000 remodel this $150,000 house. Now you still got $350,000 on hold, and that money you need to put aside and put to work down the line. And don't put it to work on assets that will depreciate in value. Put it to work on assets that will grow and grow more abundantly. Make you work less hours and less harder, but your life, your quality of life will explode because you're no longer working 80 hours a week. You're no longer going on trips every doggone year. You're no longer doing these things that you got all these things sitting in the doggone closet, in the backyard and at the boat yard and all that stuff that you got to keep paying on to keep it stored. Oh, you no longer have any of that. So now you'll gain $350,000 profit, and you no longer have no more storage space for the boat. You no longer have them big old taxes and gas bills and electric bills for that mansion. And you no longer have to put in 80 hours of work week, destroying your life, never getting any peace, never getting any joy, always penny pinching because it's bill after bill after bill. It's time to sit at the kitchen table. How much can you save if you get rid of certain things you got? Because some things y'all don't need. You don't need it. You don't use it. This goes for the wifey too. The wifey got to understand this is not a fashion show. This is not impress your friends and family. This is conquering the peace of mind. And while doing that, raising your finances, raising your bank money account to another level. So hopefully, you guys understand that. We'll be talking more about finances. It's just, finances and the love walk is the key to true success. You know what I'm saying? And, it'll free up playtime for you and the wife and you and the kids. Y'all find yourself playing. You'll find yourself chasing the wife around the kitchen table more often. You know what I'm saying? You'll find your wife, a little bit more happy and she ain't picking and knacking at you all the time. Believe me. It will change your life. So get back to the kitchen table, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to rebuild. It's time to restructure. It's time to enjoy life again. And it starts with your kitchen table. If you don't have a kitchen table, guess what? That's your greatest investment. The kitchen table. If you recognize in the scriptures, they always used to sit at the table. The kitchen table is your altar. So, moms and dads, if you don't have a kitchen table, go buy one today. It don't have to be no big fancy, this, that, and the other. Go buy, shit, you can go buy you an unfolding kitchen table. The kind you play cards with if you have to. But it's time to get back to the kitchen table. I'm a big fan of the kitchen table, even though right now I'm staying in a motel and I don't have a kitchen table because I only got so much room. But as soon as I can get in a bigger place or a place with a little bit more room, I'm going to get me a kitchen table. I was born on kitchen table. We didn't have a lot, but that love that came from that kitchen table wasn't no joke. And if you don't have a kitchen table, but you got a dining room table, that's just as good. The purpose of the kitchen table or the dining room table is not just to eat on or for a fashion show. It's where you separate the bills. It's where you gather all the information that the household has, the resources. We talk about the kids and everybody sits at the table and it's say if the kids got something they want to talk about, that's what the table is for. See, it ain't just for the adults, it's for the kids too. Once the kids see you using that kitchen table for that purpose, the kids are going to do the same thing when they have it. Something they want to talk about. Sometimes it might not mean nothing, but them wanting to go to the kitchen table is going to mean a lot. That means they want to talk to you. That's better than what it is now, because right now a lot of kids don't want to talk to their parents because the parents don't have no structure. They always gone and then want the kids to grow themselves up. That's not cool, y'all. So with that being said, y'all, it's downgrading season. It's downgrade season. It's love walk season. No more hating on your neighbor's fancy this and your neighbor's getting this. No more trying to keep up with the Joneses. You know what I'm saying? No more trying to take from this person and that person so that you can do this and do that. No. Let's start with what you got. If you got a dining room table, get to that dining room table. You and the lady get to the dining room table ASAP. That dining room table, that kitchen table is the beginning of knowledge. Household knowledge. Stay out of everybody else's business. Get back to your kitchen. Get to your kitchen table. Get to your dining room table and stay out of everybody's business. Don't try to take from nobody else. Don't be jealous of nobody else. Don't try to conquer nobody else's dreams. Get to your kitchen table and you will unfold your own dreams. The time you spend hating, backstabbing, or taking from others, or talking about your coworkers, you can be at the kitchen table or the dining room table, structuring your come up, structuring your stability. Well, there it is, y'all. This is probably the longest video I made in a while, but we got to get back to it. Like I said, help me to get me a kitchen table by subscribing, pressing a like, leave a comment. If you feel like it, you can leave a donation so that I can use that donation to get into a better situation. You know what I'm saying? I don't ask for much, but we all supposed to be helpers of one another. The scripture says, if you see your fellow brother in need and turn your back to him, that you are worth it in the insult. And that's something that I have grew up. I seen people in need over the years. I was a helper. I would try to help them if I could. One way or another. If I couldn't help them with finances, I would try to help them find a job. Try to help them find some peace. Give them a comforting word. Things like that. But one thing I never did was try to tear anybody else's down. I would never try to tear nobody else down because I learned that that's the root to all evil. Money is not the root to all evil. Love of the money is the root to all evil. So there are two of them, and you just heard it first right here. So if you feel in your heart to leave a couple of dollars or, whatever you can give so that I can get to my kitchen table. You know what I mean? Because I got things I want to do. I don't have a wife or a girlfriend like that right now, but I still can get to the kitchen table so that I can put things together. And sometimes you got to network by yourself while you waiting to see if you can come up with a helper or a team player. But even if you can't come up with one, you still can get to the kitchen table and talk to God. See, the kitchen table is a great place to get to talk to God and get answers from God while you are managing your bills, managing your thoughts. It's a great place to get things together. So with that being said, y'all, today is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Peace.